Good morning. How are you? I say good morning because it is 10 o'clock in the morning here on the beautifully damp west coast of California. Ooh, look at me. I'm all washed out. Why am I so washed out? Because this friggin' StreamYard thing, dudes and doodles and ladies and non-binaries and everybody. What's going on? Ugh. All right, let's see. Well, how are we all doing? Look at that, 2 viewers already. Look at me rolling to the big masses. So, if you saw yesterday's disastrous attempt at me trying to, just get back in the swing of things and stream while playing a game, I'm so sorry. That didn't last very long, did it? Oh no, that really didn't work. Let me just move this up there. That's better. Yeah, it's amazing how after not streaming for 6 months, things are just off, and I think it's a combination of being out of practice, because I think I'm into quite a rhythm, but also I've just got this mental fog, and it is, I think it's a combination of old age, maybe some trauma from the heart attack all those years. Mark Simpson, good afternoon, good evening, Shumai Butt. And it's definitely the cancer meds. The cancer meds are known to give brain fog, which is wonderful when you feel a bit slow anyway. But what are you gonna do? Yeah. So today is just not even going to pretend to play a game. I'm completely fogged. Well, not completely. I just forget shit, Fumbled words. I used to fumble words. I was foggy before the cancer because of old age, 50, and having used my brain my entire life for lots of rude things. But then I was also with the heart attack because I was down for so long. Even though, thankfully, it could have been a lot worse. There was some brain damage, just a little. Some will have said that I had that 20 years ago, even 30 years ago, but then I say fuck off. So yeah, it's just combined, just make me a little slow at times, a little foggy. Words take a little longer to come out sometimes. My train of thought wanders. I mean, I've always been a tangent guy. I've never met a tangent I didn't fucking like to go off on, but now it's even worse. This time it's biblical. But anyway, I am here. I'm back to do some streaming and catch you up on where I am. Thank you as always for all the messages on Twitter, in particular, saying, passing on well wishes when I've had my tests and everything. October's been a busy month. So I have, in the past 10 days, I've had 2 sets of major tests. I had my scans, my MRIs, my CTs. MRIs is the full tube thing where I can't go in there without drugs because I'm claustrophobic. And nobody likes being stuck in a tube unless you're a can of Pringles. So yeah, I had my CT scan of my abdomen, lower back, and thorax. And the good news is that the radiation seems to have done a lot of good, which is a rarity. Let's face it, radiation seems to be only good for 2 things: shrinking tumors, which is done in my case. Every tumor on the last test seems to have gone down by about 2 millimeters. So they're all under 2 centimeters now. And considering that they had shrunk before about 30 to 50%, it goes to show how freaking big they were. Raypad is right, of course. He says that radiation is also good for creating Godzilla, also good for giving you spider powers. Never let it be said. Never let us forget that. So yes, the scans have come back, and the tumors have shrunk again, which is wonderful. Obviously, big shrink initially, not so big shrinks this time around, more incrementals. The tumors in the bones have not gone down. Now, that's not as bad as it sounds. Because I'm taking bone medication and bone supplements, calcium, vitamin D, various other things, and the medication that's an injection every 3 months is called Xgeva, which is also sounds like the name of my superhero character, Xgeva. The bone metastases have turned into something called bone islands. Which sounds like a great video game title. The Bone Islands. Marcus Beer and the Bone Islands. An interactive adventure on CD-ROM. So yes, I have these bone islands now. So basically, imagine your bones. Imagine these little cavities in the bones, and what was a tumor or metastases or a mass, whatever you want to call it. And imagine that calcifying, returning to being bone. So it's like a floating bone within the bone. That's my understanding. But that could be totally wrong, because let's face it, not exactly the sharpest tack in the tin right now. But it's all good news. It is good news that those have gone down. And then the other tumors have gone down. And then I've had my other tests for my PSA, and that's still untraceable, which means it's below it's below 0.003, and to go from 505, which is the initial, to where I am, that's great. That means I'm still not producing cancer. There's no new cancer. We stopped it. It drove into, it had been making hay for months and months and years, and then all of a sudden, boom, it drove into a brick wall. So right now it's got little Tweety birds going around its head, and hopefully that will continue for a long time. One of the things I have to deal with is weight gain, because I've never been the most svelte guy, not since my late teens. Well, I was skinny, man. I was like a board. But the two medications I'm on, Lupron and Erlita, are the two cancer pills. One's a cancer pill, the other was an injection, and they help with they obviously take care of the cancer and neutralize your testosterone, which is obviously fun. But they also lead to weight gain. I am currently my heaviest I've ever been, despite my diet being the best it's ever been. And I'm 267 pounds now. I had never gone above 240 before this started. So 36 pounds, which is a terrifying prospect, especially when you got a heart condition. You have to worry about the weight on the heart and stuff. But on the plus side, I have put on 3 pounds. 3 pounds of that is muscle, which is good. I'm working out 3 times a week at a physiotherapy place with a bona fide physiotherapist doctor, and he's brilliant. I've actually, despite the lack of testosterone, in the last 3 months alone, I've managed to put on 3 pounds of muscle, which is actually pretty cool. And so now I'm ramped up 3 times a week from 2, and hopefully that will continue, and I will lose a little bit of weight. I mean, it's basically, it's the usual. It's the little belly, the big belly in this case. Let's see. Masood Khan, thank you, and salam to you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your very kind message, Masood. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. And Mark Simpson, here's a question. If you wrap a tumor in a bone, does that mean it's sealed inside? Bones are porous, dude. No, not sealed inside. They're porous. If you look at bones, bone density is this thing everybody talks about. And even the densest bones are not airtight or, hermetically sealed or whatever. Good morning, Nihilist and Backby. Nice to see all you wonderful regulars and you know your new ones. So, like Masood Khan. So I'm very, very happy to see everybody. Your Backby says I'm only 10 minutes late. Yes, you are only 10 minutes late, but let's face it, I'm probably 6 months late because I haven't done anything for 6 months, and I'm going to fill you up in. Obviously, I've just gone through all the cancer stuff, so I'm still here. Being that initial diagnosis, every time I see my doctors, they're exceptionally happy. And what I'm going to do, I discussed this yesterday when I did an impromptu little stream. I'm going to do a PSA about prostate cancer, living with prostate cancer. I'm going to do it on November the 1st to mark November Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. So I'm going to put it out on Twitter. It's going to go on Facebook. It's going to, I'll stream it to YouTube and everywhere else. And it's basically a chance for everybody, an AMA, that's it, and ask me anything about prostate cancer. And I'm going to literally go into every single nitty gritty because prostate cancer is a huge killer of men over the age of 50, and everybody has it. Everybody has the potential to have it. Sorry. And because it's us men, we don't talk about it. Sorry, somebody's at the door. Over off, Fonda. Sorry, cat having a moment. Anyway, yes, every man has the potential to have prostate cancer inside them, and at some point, every man probably would, if we don't die of other things first. You really have to excuse me again. The cat is scrabbling around outside the door. You keep an eye on your cat, woman. The joys of beautiful, lovely cats who I love and adore and driving around the fucking band. But look, prostate cancer is not sexy. Everybody, it's the one that's only isn't getting the not the love, but the awareness it deserves simply because it's men and we don't talk about shit. We're like, oh, I'll suffer in silence. I'll suffer stoically. Oh, it's nothing. I won't go to the doctor. Oh, this, that, the other. It's my down below bits. I really don't want to do that. And the next thing you know, we're all fucking dead. And so we need to be more aware. And if I can use this platform, however small, to answer everybody's questions and say, all right, so it's no fun, but you can survive it. You can beat it. If you get it early enough. And if you do have it later in life, you can get at it. And this is what you have to do. Then so be it. So yeah, set your diaries. November the 1st. I haven't locked down the time yet. I want to do a time that's best for obviously the UK and the US and Europe. So anyway, right, back to the questions in the chat room. Playland MX, Mr. Beers, just joy to see you. Right back at you, Playland. Look at me, I'm full of energy, and I'm so washed out if I get too close to the screen. Ada Black asks, have I tried playing Scorn yet? No, I haven't. And we will talk about what I have been playing and what I haven't been playing. I have an Xbox now. Let me just look at that door. Let's see. Not only do I have a television up on the wall like a grown-up, took inspiration from my sister on the trip to the UK, where my nephew and niece both had wall-mounted TVs for their Xboxes, and obviously the PlayStation and the Xbox, and obviously my Hulk, my Lego Hulk, which I will never part with. Who knows? I might even be buried with that little fucker. Feeding Frenzy 91, thank you so much for your nice comments. Let's have a look. So I've got the Xbox. Everything's all set up, and this has all happened in the last like 6 weeks. It's funny. I used to take, when I'd have a games room remodel, it would take me maybe 3 days. This one took me 3 weeks because I'd move stuff and just go to bed. I'd move one set of things and go to bed. And I got rid of half my stuff and donated it all to a local charity shop, bunch of swag, games, movies, etc. So they all went to the local charity to be sold. And that money goes to support the Union Station Homeless Project here in LA. So all that money, the clothes go to the homeless gentlemen who need them. But the toys and, games and movies and books and everything, they go to generate funds. So that's great. So haven't played Scorn. I've been playing a lot of everything. So I have been doing some work. I've been doing some consulting. Hi, Dan. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. Nila says, I've stopped having any kind of shame regarding medical issues. Yeah, you shouldn't. You should never have shame about your medical issues. And you should always try and share and educate, because that's the more we know. It literally sounds cheesy, but the more we fucking know, the more chance we've got to diagnose and save some lives. Feeding Frenzy 91, thank you. I much appreciate it. Backby, you hope you're busily playing Gotham Knights, even though you can't talk about it. You think they have sent me a copy. They haven't sent me a copy. But I'm hoping they will, because my name's in the credits. And my name's in the credits because I've been working on and off on Gotham Knights for the last 3 years. In fact, my first experience of Gotham Knights was March 2020. I left here on March the 3rd, came back on March 6th, and then everything went to tits because I've been doing some consulting, because that's what I do. When I can, get the gigs, I consult on games, play them through. So I played it through several times. It's under embargo, so I'll talk about it next time out. Can't wait to see the finished version, to be honest. Anyway, so you know what? I've got Game Pass there, and I got Game Pass here on the PC as well, and I've got the PlayStation 1 thingy. What I've just downloaded to give one more try to is No Man's Sky, after the introduction of the relaxed mode. Now, the older I get, the more I'm into exploring a game, learning about story, learning the mechanics, but I don't have the patience or the wherewithal to really drop tens of thousands of hours into a game building these ornate, amazing buildings. And I've seen what people have been doing in No Man's Sky and in Fallout 76 as well. And I got nothing but a huge admiration for people who do that. So I've just downloaded No Man's Sky again. I just started playing relaxed mode this morning, actually, before I jumped on here. So I'm going to tell you how that goes eventually. I'm literally only 20 minutes in, so I've had to, I'm just repairing my ship again, and the thrusters and the shields, and then I'll take off and find a space station and start pimping everything out. Cornelius Zorn, what a cool name. Nice. So what have I been playing? Well, I have been playing a lot of Football Manager, because that's what I do. Helps me step away from the work-related stuff. I have also been doing some work on a game called Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, which hits next week from IllFonic. Again, under embargo, so I cannot really share anything of that, but I will tell you my opinion next week. Let's see. RP Genius is asking, have you seen the situation with the Bayonetta's voice actors coming out about only being offered 4K to voice the game? 4K to voice a game? Jesus Christ. I mean, you could be talking about a lot of dialogue. I mean, I don't know how long a Bayonetta game is, maybe 10, 12 hours. I mean, 4K for I don't know. I've never paid for, in my time working in games, I'd never paid for voice actors. That was always paid at the development budget. I oversaw some, I was at some voiceover recordings. I never oversaw it. That was the sound department. They were absolutely amazing. And we'd get game director in as well. But I did get to see Dennis Quaid do some VO for one of the games I worked at Vivendi. But yeah, I would imagine that 4K is probably on the low side, but I wouldn't really be able to know. I mean, that just, I suppose if you're a big name person in the voice industry, you expect more. I really couldn't tell you. If it's 4K for a day's work, I mean, there's no, obviously in the games industry, there's no residuals. It's not like the movies. So it could, unless it's like, oh, okay, it's 3 or 4 hours work. I don't know. It's interesting. That is interesting. Have I many physical games? Ada Black says, I actually do. Not for the new consoles, and less for PC now, because I've got a bunch of PC stuff, old school PC stuff, but my gaming rigs don't even have CD-ROMs anymore. And then I've got a shit ton of Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS3 and 4 games. I've got a couple of PS5 physical discs, and the rest is just digital now. I mean, we made the transition. And it's the same with the movies. I mean, I've got a shit ton of DVDs and a shit ton of Blu-rays, and all packaged away, because I have it in my head. This is how mental I can get at times. In my mind, if the apocalypse comes, I'm going to find somewhere with a solar panel. I'm going to take my Blu-ray player and all my Blu-rays, plug it into a TV, run it off a solar panel, and still be able to watch my shows, because that's why I'm keeping them. Same with my games. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Mike Zero, how are you? Oh, Mark Simpson's playing Fortnite. I'm so sorry. Mike Zero says, so many things to hear. Beer's opinions on Gotham Knights, Cyberpunk's Redemption, Activision, Microsoft with UK being more difficult to approve. Yeah, Gotham Knights, can't talk about it until all the embargoes are lifted. Cyberpunk, I'll revisit that one in a second. The Activision Microsoft thing, Sony obviously throwing toys at the pram. The UK government are doing what the UK government does, and they're just being dickbags. Anything that this government does, I treat with scorn and disgust, because they're a bunch of assholes. And basically, they're probably telling Microsoft, you give us backhanders and we will pass this stuff through. Sony turning around and say, I think I read some of the things this week, and they said, Sony wanting guarantees that Microsoft and Games Pass will not have exclusive content. And I'm like, come the fuck on, really? You've been living off exclusive content on Call of Duty that you've been paying for God knows how long. That's just the way it is. So, I mean, you just bought Bungie. So Bungie games now, you're not going to have exclusive content on PlayStation, on Bungie games. Pull the other one. It's got bells on. You know what? Get this thing done. If only to get the toxic wankers, that is the Activision management, out of the games business. I mean, they're already rich. They're going to become even richer, which is disgusting. Personally, I'd like to see them all in jail, and I'd like to see every penny taken from them and given to the poor bastards who actually do make the games. The fact that Bobby Kotick makes so much money makes me physically sick. Called him out as a douchebag 10, 12 years ago, and he still is one today. There you go. Let's see. Wow, comments are picking up. And look at that, we're up to 21 viewers. Hello, 21 viewers. Let's see. Yeah, I do. King Ding too. Nice to see you. And Boreda, sub-level 28. Shumai Butt, which is Welsh. How you doing? Butt is like slang for friend, pal, mate, not calling you a butt. Sub-level Annalie, I'm good. We will catch up another time. You are absolutely probably knackered. If you need to go, you need to go. We'll catch up. All right. Let's see. Have I been watching the Wrexham documentary on Disney Plus? Yes, I have. Welcome to Wrexham. It's here in the US on Hulu, because Disney's figured out a way to make us pay for other things. I've been very much enjoying it. Obviously, I like my footy. I think it's interesting that what Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's doing. I find it very entertaining. It's just wrapped here in the US last week. I mean, it's just like anything that's a sporting documentary. You know what the sporting results are because this isn't a, film edit, slap it out the week of. I knew they didn't get promotion. I knew they didn't. I'm sorry, spoiler, but let's face it. Just check the fucking BBC website. I knew they didn't win in the Wembley final, but it's interesting to see what they've done. And they're going great guns again this season. 1 point off the top, I think, or maybe 2. They drew today, I think, in the FA Cup with Blythe Spartans. So yeah, it's entertaining. It's a 3-season deal with Disney for this thing, and I think season 2 is the one. But it might follow Full Ted fucking Lasso. Not promoted the first season, promoted the second season, win it all the third season, which isn't going to happen. But it would be, it'll be fun. I'd love to see Wrexham do well. I love to see all the Welsh teams do well. So, even Cardiff City occasionally. Let's see. Did I ever meet David Jaffe? I actually did, yes. Ada Black asked if I met David Jaffe. And I met him once or twice at media events, but he probably wouldn't even remember me. Let's see. Mark Simpson's laughing at the word "but." What would Americans think of Brits? Oh, we're not even Brits sinking our teeth into a tasty butty. Now, a butty is a slang term for a sandwich. So if you have a bacon butty, that's a bacon sandwich, and you have bacon butty for breakfast. And it's baller because we have proper back bacon. So you have a back bacon butty for breakfast, and it's banging. So yes, so if you can also say "shumai butty," which is also hi friend, whatever. I'm not saying hello. I'm not calling somebody a sandwich. Welsh is a very complicated language, very complicated language. So yes, and now I'm hungry, even though I had my Weetabix and a banana for breakfast and my green juice because that's it. Let's see. Backby, Microsoft should try and pull the same thing Sony's doing by saying PlayStation has an unfair advantage by having 2 of the most popular Marvel characters in exclusive games with Spider-Man and Wolverine. And yeah, that's actually a good point. I mean, Sony does have these characters, and they don't publish. I mean, they're publishing a PC, but they're publishing 3 years later. Miles Morales is about to come to PC 3 years after it came out. Look, I like Sony. I love my PS5 platform, but come on. You can't cry and then, cry and then still do exactly the same shit. Cornelius Son says, have I pre-ordered the RTX 4080 12 gigabyte? No. I'm not changing graphics cards on this thing yet. I've only had this thing 2 years, and I'm not spending a shit ton of money I don't have on a graphics card. I finally got my games room into sort of like a space that I like. I will probably do an upgrade on this in about 12 months. It's no emotion that Billy Bo Bagging 64. Nice name. Nice to see you. It's no emotional roller coaster like Ted Lasso. Well, it's not, is it? It's all fact. It's Disney-fied. It's all or FX-ified. And we're talking about Welcome to Wrexham. But no, it's not like Ted Lasso. And where's season 3? I'm not eager for the show to finish, but I want my season 3. Gotta have some Ted action. I'm getting a little worried that they're overthinking things a little. RP Genius asks again about the Wrexham thing. A very interesting, smart move to bring the documentary. It's bringing a good amount of revenue for the club and international fans. You're not wrong. I've seen it on my Facebook feed. I've seen people who have no clue where Wrexham is. Couldn't even find fucking Wales on a map. These are people I know. And, if you paid them $10, they probably couldn't find Wales. And it's no disrespect. That's just the way it is, especially, countries like America. You don't really learn much of what's going on outside your fucking door. So yes, I've seen them. I bought the Wrexham shirt. I bought the Wrexham hat. Oh, what a great team! I know it's a fad, but at the end of the day, it's pumping money back into the club. that's a good thing because the racecourse is the oldest international ground in the world. I remember watching games, never been there, but watching games on TV when Wales were playing there, and the racecourse ground needs to be reworked. They still, as of end of last season, had one whole bank of stand roped off because it needs to be demolished. So, yeah, it's nice to see that money pumped into the club, and hopefully the club will go onwards and upwards. Anyway, Out of Black, most anticipated game coming up. I genuinely don't know. I've literally stepped away so much, I think, from looking at big releases. I really don't know what's coming out. I have to go and sit through things. I know Gotham Knights is coming. I know Ghostbusters is coming because I worked on both of them. I consulted on both of them. And I'm looking forward to playing the final versions. But yeah, I'll have to sit down and see what's what. There's nothing really floating my boat. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 6 would be nice. Oh, let's talk about that leak in a minute, shall we? That's a bit fucking rancid, isn't it? That's okay. Nihilist Zealot. Yeah, no. Dan says I'm from Liverpool. My boys, my team, tomorrow, going to be a tough one. Unless you are an Everton fan, of which I respect. But, hey, LFC till I die. Always have been. Cornelius and Backby are having a great chat. God of War, no hype. I'll be honest with you, I've never played God of War. It's just one of those games I've never picked up. And, there are certain games that just pass you by. And God of War has been that game for me. And I don't know why. And maybe I should go back and play the last one because they obviously got a lot of kudos. But I didn't have a PlayStation at the time. So, yeah, maybe I should just... go and find that game and play it. Ray is listing out games now. Pokemon, Final Fantasy, Crisis Core. Ugh. Dan. Hold on, Dan. I just remembered I put it somewhere else. So, Dan, this one's for you, my friend. So this is one of my pride and joys. This is from the double season. It's the 85-86 FA Cup Winners' League champion won the Crown Plains Classic jersey. It is a reproduction. It's not original, obviously. And then, I have this season's, because let's face it, everybody loves a beer. So yes, those are my jerseys, and I bust them out on match day. And I think I probably jinxed the club, so that's why they're hung up right now and away. So let's see. Okay, so maybe I should think God of War. I should give it a try. I think it is actually. I think I've seen it in the classics. Let's go back to Cyberpunk because obviously that's a game I have sung the praises of over and over. I think it's one of those ones that has such a bollocks launch, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. I mean, it ticks all the boxes for me. It's that futuristic cyberpunk-y thing, which I like. Open world, lots of missions, side quests, customizable character, lots of interaction, and it really, I mean, I was lucky enough to play it on a great PC, so it apart from some glitch, some major glitches here and there, it was great. It was absolutely great. I didn't try bringing it on PS4 or PS5 though. And now they've continued to update it and everything, which is obviously good. They had to get it up to at least a basic level. And now they've talked about new DLC. They've added new stuff. They've added the mod support. The mod support for me is very intriguing, but it's also, why can't publishers make it easier to install mods? Why does it have to be so fucking difficult? You have to download Vortex. You have to go to this site and you have to register, and then we'll do this. And you have to put this into this folder, and then you have to enable this. You also have to go back to Steam and download the Red mod. And I'm what? I just want to extend the life of my game by seeing what other people have done and dicking around with it. Same with Fallout, and the same with Skyrim. I think that companies should be, I mean, it's great that they are finally getting more used to modding and more open to it, but it shouldn't be such a fucking hardship, should it? It really shouldn't be a hardship for anybody to have to install a mod, especially if it's coming from a trusted source and coming through Vortex, which is a trusted, mod thingy. Ugh, just blows my mind. Blow my mind. All right. Let's go down. Still talking about God of War. All right. I will. It's Boss Dooley. Nice to see you. Extra tier on PS Plus. All right. I'll have a go with that. Good God. Hold on. Did I watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners? I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a little bit disconcerting at first because it defaulted to Japanese with dubs. And please don't think I'm being racist, but if it was a live action show, Japanese with dubs, absolutely. But when we're talking about an animated show, there's no fucking need for Japanese with dubs. Subs. Dub it, multiple languages. It's animated. If it's live action, you keep it Japanese with subtitles. I can understand that. Great. But I thoroughly enjoyed it after I figured out how to switch switch it to English dubbing. And yeah, it was a great little show. And obviously they've dropped some bits and bobs from Edge Runners into the game. I haven't been back to Cyberpunk. I spent actually last weekend fiddling around trying to get these mods in, which is why I was so pissed by it. So I haven't actually been in and done a restart to actually go and see what the Edge Runner stuff is. And I know we're going to get some new downloadable content, expansion pack, old school expansion pack, sometime next year. Hopefully that works. But yeah, I think, the game is great, always has been great. And I'm glad they're still working on it. All right, let's see. Spyrim back up to snuff was a 10-hour ordeal for me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, we're just looking at. I was reading aloud a comment, and this goes back to the modding thing, and people just don't make it easy to mod their fucking games. It really is quite sucky, to be honest with you. Billy Bo Baggins actually says, and I will show this, it's probably a difficult prospect for certain studios to build a Fallout Skyrim-style mods manager inside a game if there isn't much of a community. I understand what you're saying, but I mean, what do you think the tools are that they use to build the actual game? They're super enhanced mod tools. So you dumb it down, you strip out a lot of features to release these mod tools. But I'm talking about just being able to drop a mod into the game, the mod activation thing. That to me should be a basic. It's like, do you want to enable mods? Yes. Okay. Go to Vortex. You've just enabled the mods. You've done the little, tick box. Now the stuff will automatically find your Cyberpunk folder, drop stuff in, and then mods. That pops up on your screen. That's what should be happening. Call me old-fashioned, but that's the way it goes. Here we go. Played the new Saints Row. No. And I loved Saints Row 3 and 4. Saints Row 4 is a game that I think bought so many iterations of. Last gen, new gen and PC. You couldn't make a game like Saints Row today, for whatever reasons, be they good or bad or valid reasons. I saw the reviews, made me hold off. Maybe when it drops down in price, I will give it a go. Much the same as the last Far Cry game. Oh, by the way, $120 for Far Cry Game of the Year when your game was nowhere near any Game of the Year lists, Ubisoft. You're having a fucking laugh. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I watched those first couple of trailers and it just looks so devoid of joy, so miserable. And so yeah, I may be wrong, but I'm just gonna wait until it's cheap somewhere, and then I'll give it a go on console or something. Because I just liked. I mean, I liked the fact that the first Saints Row tried too hard to be GTA. Saints Row 2 decided to veer off a little, but then 3 and 4 really found their voice, as far as I'm concerned, and that voice just got stripped away. And like I said, it's a different time now. You can't do these games anymore. Apparently, you can't use, and I thought it was an equal opportunities offender. I mean, it literally took the piss out of everybody. But yeah, I'm just an old man railing at the sky because I'm old. Backby says that Saints Row could have been the gaming industry version of Rick and Morty and South Park. Now, I've never been able to watch and sit through Rick and Morty. I don't know why, it just never appeals to me. But South Park, yes, I do like that. I'm looking forward to the new South Park game when that comes out. Hopefully that's going to be an absolute baller, much like the Stick of Truth and the Fractured But Whole. But yes, there is... Games should be for everybody, but games can appeal to certain people. So games can appeal to older people, because let's face it, we're the ones with fucking disposable income now. And let's face it, you don't have retired people who are gamers. I'm 52 in 2 months, and I've been playing video games since I was 8. So why isn't that one of the games for me? So a Saints Row for me would have been really good. And there are a lot of people out there my age who carry on playing, especially as the games that a lot of people are playing are fucking Call of Duty and fucking Fortnite. And those games, and they've basically they've gone the way of Pokemon, and they've aged themselves out of the game. They've just moved themselves out of the games industry or the general gaming world. As far as I'm concerned, they're review proof. They are continually popular. Minecraft's another one. And I'm not criticizing these games. Can't stand them personally. But if you like them, I'm not going to call you an idiot. You do what you want. You play what you want. I try not to do the gaming snob thing. So I would just say that, yeah, you can make games for all ages. And don't forget the gray market, the gray gamer. As we are the gray gamer, and we like to have a bit of fun and a little bit of silly. So anyway, let's see. Do you think some of these companies? I think everybody's rushing games. Everybody's just trying to get out. I think the Embracer thing, the Embracer group that owns a lot of these labels, is trying to do some very interesting stuff and bring back a lot of brands. I think Comanche's coming back, an old one of mine. When I was at Nova Logic, I joined just as Comanche 4 was about to go out the door. So yeah, I think it's interesting if a new Delta Force comes up, or a new Joint Ops. That would be really fucking freaking me out. I think people are, while people are still getting. I think people are complaining, rightly or wrongly, are more open to complaining the second a game gets delayed. I'd rather have a game finished than on time. Finish it. We don't. Cyberpunk is a prime fucking example. So yeah, I think hitting deadlines. I mean, Ideal world, you'd have a 3-month announced to ship. That's it. The timeline. It's like, oh, here's the game. Here's the previews. You'll have review codes in 2.5 months. Games hitting in 3. And that's done as in, we are not, telling you what's coming in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. We're not fucking Marvel with the MCU. I mean, what our Marvel's doing with the MCU now is quite ridiculous. It's like they just shifted a bunch of stuff to 2026. I'm like, come on, I don't even know if I'm going to be here then. Stop it. I don't need to know. Let me get to the end of each calendar year and tell me what's coming up the following November. That's fine. But I don't need to know this far in advance what you're working on, because it's just ridiculous. It's just creating news for news' sake, and we all get sucked into it. Am I interested in Scorn? Is that the one that's the... hang on. Let's see. Ooh, somebody sent me an email. Ah. Season's wonderful. That's the Geiger one. That's the one with the H.R. Geiger artwork, and that's on Games Pass. A sometimes too grotesque horror game. Scorn is true to Geiger's work, but needs more dicks. Okay. First-person biopunk survival horror adventure. Okay, yeah. Reviews seem pretty good. 7 out of 10, 4 out of 5. Give it a try. I will have a crack at that. And Natalie Imbruglia was torn, you dickhead. Sorry, Raypad just being... it's torn by Natalie Imbruglia. So yes, I will try that next week. And when I come back to chat with you again, I will have said I will have played the game somewhat, because I am between consulting gigs right now. And apart from... more medical appointments next week, things are a little quiet. So yeah, all right, let's see. Blackbee says, do you think it'd be better if more companies started holding back games and look at the competition? Yeah, I think I think companies should only release games when they're finished. I think they should look at getting games out in timely manners so that we don't have 6 or 7 releases at the same time. Everybody wants to be on the Christmas list, blah, 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 blah. But digital now has reinvented the wheel. Digital means that everything goes up on the servers. The servers can go up on the servers any fucking time. So you can be smarter about it. Just get the game fixed. Improve your marketing. Titanfall was a banging game, Titanfall 2, but it suffered. I mean, it suffered from a marketing department that didn't have a fucking clue how to market it. The Dead Space remake, I mean, apparently the film is finally in development. John Carpenter's expressed an interest in that. But yeah, I mean, Dead Space was always a critical darling, but it was never a mega seller. Maybe, get it right this time. Get the marketing right. Put it out there if you feel you need to convince people. Drop a demo. Demos are always good. Love demos. Yeah, there's no fine line. There's no fine art, rather. There is no magic formula. But I will say that every game on PC I shipped in this country from Ghost Recon on went to number 1 in the PC charts. Physical media too. That's how good I was. Because I had my PR fucking hat on. I was baller. Mark Simpson says I'm immortal now. Yeah, I think it's when the apocalypse comes, it's going to be me, cockroaches, and a pile of Twinkies. What do I think about the Last of Us remake? I'm interested in the Last of Us TV show from HBO. That looks really cool. I really don't need to see another remake of these games. I mean, especially when it's just a one generation skip. Just make sure it's compatible for the newer gens, to be honest with you. And that's just how I feel about these things in general. What do I think of live service games? Oh, this is a good question. Yeah. So the oxymoron, the great oxymoron is games as a service. I fucking hate it. It's like, oh, you have to, thank you for downloading our game. Agree to our terms and conditions. Yeah, okay, click. Now you need to register. What? You can sign in with Facebook, Google, or whatever, so we'll get all your information from there. Or you can create a new username and password. Okay. Better not get fucking data breach me in a fucking 6 months. 6 months later. Oh, by the way, we suffered a data breach. Sorry about that. Username, password, email address, which side of your pants you dress on, and your foot size is all now out on the dark web. And so you're into the game. All right. You've downloaded the game. Thank you. As we are a live service, you're going to have some updates. Please come back in about 3 weeks while we continue to update the game. So you go, let the game update. All right, it's updated. Am I ready to go? Yes, you are. Oh, server's down for maintenance. And that's just the tip of the fucking iceberg. Games as a service is just not a fun thing. Give me a game that I can play offline. Give me a game that I don't have to log into to access on top of everything else. I really don't want to have to fucking create another account to play your game. If I bought the game, I've bought the damn game. Let me play it. I mean, I did get Xboxes and PS5s with disc capabilities, so that I want to play the games. But I'm just sick of having to play, sign in for shit. So yes, I appreciate that people are trying to reinvent it, keep content fresh, blah, blah, blah. But half the time the content they generate and slap out is just ridiculously inane. So if you are going to do games as content as a live service, make sure that your live service, one, is updated regularly, two, with regards to content, two, is easy to log into, and you can play offline if you want to. I mean, if it's a multiplayer shooter, then you're kind of fucked. If it's an MMO, you're obviously fucked. You can't do that. But outside of that, if I'm logging into Assassin's Creed, I really don't need to log into Assassin's Creed. Let me just pick up the controller, hit the button, and start playing as Brenda or Dave or Sven or Fjord or whatever the fucking name they are. Yeah. I mean, I would hate to be in the industry now and have to sit in all these damn meetings with regards to, oh, how do we get this game as a service going so microtransactions can be seamless and transparent and easy to click a button and somebody's bought 15 things. I blame Fortnite. Let's see. Hang on. What? Have you seen Activision forcing it? I don't know what that. I'll have to verify that source, my friend. I haven't read that. To play Overwatch and Call of Duty. Well, we don't want to play Overwatch or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Good grief. That's just obscene. Fuck them. Blackby says, since I've been around the block. Yeah, I suppose I have. On development a bit. Will it hurt them financially hold it back releasing a game the way it hurts a movie? Since studios' movie finances are tied to loans and no, I mean, look. Well, if you're a publicly traded company, and hello, question, by the way. If you're a publicly traded company, you have goals and you have investors to please, because obviously, let's face it, investors are scum. Everything wrong in the world can be traced to the fucking stock market, as far as I'm concerned, because it's all a bunch of fucking parasites stealing our money and overinflating companies' values and this, that, and the other. You can basically, if you release a game or you finish a game, and I mean truly finish it, and you lock and load it. So I finished my game in July. In the old days, I was like, there's no way I want to ship in July. July's dead month. So's August. Everybody's on vacation. People are outdoors. Nobody plays video games in the summer. That was then. That was old school thinking. which was also patently quite ridiculous because, oh, everybody's off watching blockbuster movies. No, they'll watch the movies, they'll come home and play, because let's face it, people who played video games, especially in the 90s and 2000s, they didn't want to be out in the fucking sun anyway. We all burnt to a crisp. Look, I'm fucking whiter than white and white. I loved spending my summers indoors. Thank you very much. Screw that. You can delay by a couple of months. You can get a full marketing campaign and then drop the game if you've got it 100% fixed. And you can pick a release date and stick to it. So that's why I'm a big fan of, oh, the game's fucking finished, and now we're going to announce it. Here it is. You'll play it in a couple of months. Oh, you'll play it tonight. It's out. That's always fun. Yeah, there are fiscal penalties that a lot of companies have because, again, they're publicly traded, because bottom lines are the thing. When you take it outside of the fiscal year is a no-no. Taking it outside of the fiscal quarter is less of a no-no, but still a bit of a no-no. So I hope that helped. I mean, look, you can release a game every month of the year. Now, any and every time is a good time to play video games or to buy video games, because people say, oh, people are broke after Christmas. Are they really, though? People are broke all year round. They're going to buy a fucking game. What do you think they're going to spend all those fucking gift cards or whatever they got for Christmas for? Anyway. All right. That was fun. We're coming up on an hour. I'm tired. By the way, I'm going to show you a little something. Hopefully you can see this. It's an A. There you go. Look at that. From Alpha. That's the name of the company I formed. And that's my consultancy. That is my consultancy, because I work on games from Alpha. If you have a game and you want somebody to look at it and give you unbiased, balanced feedback, that's what I do. I enjoy it. It's nice to not critique games or critique them, be able to offer constructive criticism. And I've worked on quite a few games over the last 3 or 4 years, such as Gotham Knights, Ghostbusters, Ghostwire, Deathloop. The first 2 games I ever actually did this on were The Evil Within and Wolfenstein, all those years ago. So that's what I do when I can. So my wife had that done with my company logo on. Isn't that awesome? So nice. Only one of a kind. To finish off, perfect quote delivered by Sub-Level 28, the amazing Anne Lee. I live by these words by Neil Gaiman. My people, we stay indoors. We have keyboards. We have darkness. It's quiet. I like the noise. I like listening to stuff. I'll listen. And look, I have the TV on. I'm currently rewatching the Buck Rogers series from the 80s. And that's great. I mean, I come in here. This is literally my Zen room. When we had the heat wave here in California. Oh shit, I didn't tell you about my vacation, did I? I'll tell you about that in a minute. When we had the most recent heat wave, this was the coolest room in the house. So I literally brought an air mattress in here. My wife is absolutely fine. She loves the sleep in the heat. She runs cold and I run hot. So for about 2 weeks, I slept in here. It's like kiss her goodnight, came in here and slept underneath an AC vent, and it was fantastic. I was watching TV, reading books. So yeah, one of the things I did do, and obviously this is something we planned because we didn't know how long I had. Shona and I, my wife, we decided to go back to the UK, see my family over the summer. And we've never done a full summer trip before. We've always gone back around my birthday or earlier in the year for my mum's birthday, wedding anniversary. And so this was the first summer. And obviously we picked a doozy of a summer with heat waves. But I was out there for 3 weeks and she joined me for the last 2 of those weeks. And I got to hang with my family, hang with some friends. We went to Amsterdam, which was the first for both of us, which was amazing. It was just obscenely hot. And so obviously air conditioning is not a thing in Europe, unfortunately. And Brexit means that getting into Schiphol Airport into the Netherlands was not easy. So I had to line up with everybody, which really, really upset me. But no, we had a great time. We stayed at some amazing places. We went out in Cardiff, hung out with my sisters and my nephews and niece and my parents, and saw lots of family friends and ate. I had a doner kebab or two. I went to Noakes, which is a little bakery back in my hometown where they do the most amazing pasties, and they also do the most amazing custard slices. I did eat a little naughty. I was on my trip. I was like, fuck it, I'm on my trip. I had bacon and eggs every morning, wherever I was. It was amazing, proper bacon. And it was so lovely just to be home and see my family and everything. And now I'm actually more confident being able to see them again maybe next year, which is good. Because, we're all getting old. And if you get the chance to go and see and spend some time with your family, do it, but do it the way I do it. Stay in a fucking hotel. Because, again, love my folks, love everybody, but the idea of just being able to be in your own space. And, I run warm. So, there's in the summer, I tend to walk around the house in my underpants, which is not a pretty sight. And certainly something my parents in their 70s and 80s do not want to be seeing, because it would just put everybody off their lunch. But yeah, we had a great time. Drove the car we had rented was a Range Rover Evoque hybrid, and it was a lovely car. Nice SUV, beautiful hybrid, black. Oh, I love that car. I would love to have brought that car back home. Do they do kebabs in the USA? Dan asks, and they. Up until about 2 weeks ago, I would have said no. But then we found a place in my old neighborhood in West LA, actually, by the Beverly Center. So it's Beverly Hills adjacent. Because when I go and get my scans or go see my doctors, I go to Beverly Hills because that's what I do. Don't ask me why. I go because they're fucking brilliant and they're keeping me alive. But we found this place called Berlin's. And boom, doner kebab, salad, onions, chili sauce, double cooked chips. They didn't drop in their pita though. They drop it in a almost like a sandwich, a hollowed out piece of bread, or hollowed out loaf type thing, and it's just so good, so good. So yes, I found a couple of things now that I can actually eat over here that are kind of like what I had in the UK, but nothing is as good. That's why I go to britishcornershop.co.uk. That is where I get all my treats, and I will be getting my treats for Christmas. So roses, Cadbury's Roses, Quality Street, After Eights, Matchmakers, all the Christmas candy. Because you in Britain, your parents would get all this candy, and it would all be put away, and they tell you that Santa's going to turn up, or Father Christmas, or Sean Carden, which is Welsh for Santa, and it's not to be confused with Sean Connery. So yeah, Christmas morning, they'd have obviously off been doing their magical stuff, and gifts would be out, and you'd come down and you'd look at like the cabinet, the china cabinet hutch or whatever, the dresser, if you will, and it would just be full of huge jars of chocolates and nuts and fruit, and it was just, how soon can we get into those? What? I have to have breakfast first? No, screw that. Give me chocolate. And so, try and create that to a more modest degree every Christmas. But yeah, got my Christmas pud already. Bought that gluten-free because the missus is celiac. We got the turkey already. I know Christmas is only 2 months away. I love Christmas. Anyway, German Donna. You're actually the second person to tell me about German Donna. Hang on. Mark, and so this is Mark's. I'll be honest with you. I got on that trip with the full understanding in my head that it will be the last time I do that trip in any way where I am really physically able to do a bunch of stuff with my family and friends. So I had to see friends. I saw friends I haven't seen for 20, 30 years, friends from school. So that's friends I haven't seen in like 30 years. I saw family. I had to spend time with them. I mean, it's so tough. I have been through 2 heart attacks, double heart bypass, and cancer in the last 5 years. And my parents are getting old. I've lost 2 uncles in the last in 2020. I lost 21. I lost 2 uncles, which fucking sucked. And so I had to do this trip, and I had to do it in a right way, and I had to see my family and friends. And it's just one of the things that when you come all the way across the pond, the family has to come first and foremost, and then we try and build some time in to have our own little things, and that's why we did Amsterdam and stuff. But yes, it would be lovely to drive up to Liverpool. I mean, the next trip I'm going to say that we need to stay in Liverpool, and hopefully I can do it where I can take in a game at Anfield, because that's like top 5 on my bucket list. But yeah, I just wanted to keep it quiet. With COVID, obviously there was that summer surge of the Delta variant, and I just had to really focus on being with my family. So I'm sorry. In another life, healthy Marcus would have said, "Oh, here we go, boom, boom, boom." Let's see. So my apologies. Let's see. Best American fast food joint that you can't get in the UK. So here's the interesting thing. I don't really. I mean, apart from going to Berlin's and having this doner, I don't eat fast food anymore. I can't. The arteries are clogged. The other thing is the fast food here is junk. I mean, it's literally pish. There's so many chemicals. The shit they cook the fries in. You look at the American recipe for McDonald's fries and compare it to the European recipe for McDonald's fries. European recipe is oil, potatoes, a little bit of salt, a little bit of seasoning. You look at the American version, it's oil, potatoes, salt, cyanide, asbestos, unicorn ball smeg, Donald Trump's wig. I mean, literally, there is the regulations over here are so lax that there's a reason they call it junk food, because it's literally putting rubbish in your body and it kills you. We had a McDonald's in the UK, and we were so happy to have a McDonald's because everything in that UK McDonald's, we knew what was in it. Wife had a lettuce wrap bun. We could eat the fries. They weren't in contaminated containers and weren't cooked in fucking canola oil. Starbucks is even better in the UK. Starbucks in the UK tastes like coffee. Starbucks in the US tastes like burnt tar. They don't charge for nut milk in the UK. Sean is lactose intolerant. I've come off regular dairy milks, so I drink almond milk too. They don't charge for those up. Here there's an upcharge. So yeah, I mean, if I was going to say anything with regards to fast food in the US, I'd make it hyper specific to Pasadena, just down Lake Avenue from my house, about 2 miles down the road. There's a place called The Hat. The Hat is an old school burger joint. It's not a chain, not a fast, it's not like McDonald's or anything like that. They think they maybe have 3 or 4. It's a local company, locally owned. And they do great burgers, great hot dogs. Not great as in ingredients, but very tasty. But the one thing they do that is just to die for, and let's face it, I tried to die after eating too much of that. Chili cheese fries with cheese and pastrami. Fries, chili, cheese on top, onions, pastrami over it. Can't actually have that too often, again, because of the whole weight, cancer, blah. So, in fact, we've started making it at home with a healthier chili, leaner pastrami, vegan cheese, organic onions, and I make the fries in the air fryer. I've got very good at cooking things in my air fryer. I make my own fries. So, yeah. So next time I come over, I will try and figure out a way to turn to let people know where I'm going to be, and if we have time to catch up for a little beer or something, it'd be wonderful. Mark Simpson, you're not painting a very welcoming picture of life in the US of A. Quite literally eat yourself to death. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And this is the problem I have with the Conservatives in particular. They wanted to get out of Europe because Europe had all these food regulations in place. Now you're looking at shitty mass-produced chicken coming from here and coming from China and going, from the US and China and going into the UK. Your food standards are going to go through the door. So demand a new election, vote the Conservatives out, demand a new referendum on Brexit with a expedited timeline, and pray to fucking God that Europe takes you back. Europe's not perfect, but being on the outside is way worse than being on the inside, especially for Wales. So much funding came from Europe for Wales, and you're getting fuck all now. The alternative, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland all devolve, go for full devolution, and say, you're on your own, England, and we would like to come into Europe, please. That's it. Cardiff Wills Airport, upgrade it, get some of those European funds, get Cardiff Airport up and running for more routes, and we are good to go. Anyway, Zucchinian, that's a hell of a cool name again. Fun fact, American ketchup doesn't meet the standard of being called ketchup in the rest of the world. Yeah, it's basically some sort of tomato junk. Thankfully, you can get, there are a lot of really good organic brands for ketchups, mustards, mayonnaise. We've moved to avocado mayonnaise because, again, the dairy thing. There are lots of things you can get, but the most, the organic stuff, the small batch, local farms, that is all good, and it's great in a lot of ways. The best stuff you can probably get is when you order it from overseas. Order it from Mexico, order it from Canada. Canada and Mexico have way better food standards than America. And on that bombshell, I will leave you. I ranted on for another 12 minutes over what I wanted to do, and now I need to go and eat. Good people, very good people. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. It's so nice to be back chatting with you. And now that, hopefully this weather holds. It's raining outside in here in Altadena. Hopefully the rain holds and we continue to get wet, and that means if we're wet, I'm inside, I'm reading a book, I'm playing a game, cuddled up. I can wear sweaters because that's what I like doing. So much love to y'all. Be back next week. I'm gonna go and download Scorn on the Xbox. Yeah. All right, now to click the end broadcast and then have to say, are you sure you want to end the broadcast? Yeah, I know. Stupid. Bye, everybody.